This AFC North preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by MyBookie.ag. This week only, MyBookie is offering up to $200 in free bets using the promo code SGP200. That's right, up to $200 in free bets with only a one-time rollover requirement. Use SGP200 to play, win, and get paid over at MyBookie.ag. We're also brought to you by Balto, the #1 office pool hosting site. Balto is fully customizable, easy to manage, and most importantly, free. If you're running a football pool this season, make your life easy and do it on Balto. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com and click the Balto link to sign up today. Woo! Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer dog?
Well, Sean, we just spent we had a little IKEA date before the episode. It's late as shit. I'm tired. I'm grumpy, but I'm excited, Sean.
Ryan,
because in front of me, I not only have the Football Outsiders DVOA information, I have the printed out chapters, Sean, of the DVOA or the Football Outsiders Almanac. I've done my prep. I even have. Can we give a shout out? A free plug.
All right, just this once.
This awesome schedule.
Oh, that's a great piece of data to pick up. Courtesy.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh yeah, our buddy Whale Capper on Twitter. Make sure you follow that guy.
I think we retweeted the tweet, yeah. but definitely download that. It's beautiful, color coded with the situational information.
Yeah,
rest, disparity. It's great.
Opponent, rookie head coach on Thursday Night Football.
I love that.
That's something you want to
next level shit.
Extra rest off bye. That's something you want as well. Extra rest off Thursday Night Football. Opponent on back-to-back roadie. I mean, just basically all these little nuggets you want to take advantage of, and that's what this is all about, finding spots to take advantage of. Ryan,
Sean.
It is football season. We got a lot of cool stuff coming. Some new branding music right around the corner that will be appearing shortly. If all things go according to plan. But we have
Are we having a business meeting on air, Sean? Is that what's going on here?
We have a big announcement, Ryan, and that is the all-new merch store.
Oh.
Been teasing it. It is now live. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/merch or sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Click the button merch. You know we'll be tweeting out links. It's pretty awesome. Not going to lie. We're running it through this company, Squad Locker. It's just sick-ass hoodies, golf polos. There's always one guy. Anytime we put out a T-shirt that says, where are the golf polos?
Yep.
We got them. Hats. I mean, you know me, Ryan. I'm a huge fan of jogger pants. You know, like nice, comfortable sweatpants. They got those.
Do they have zipper pockets, though? Because I know you like to wear them to the strip club.
Well, Ryan, I don't know. I got to look that up. Even crazier, though, is that since this is through Squad Locker, you can also you can customize it. So you can put in your player name,
okay,
or player number if you want to. I don't know, whatever your handle is, you can put that in there. That's kind of badass. These do take a little bit since it's custom. So if you want to get stuff before the season, I would recommend putting that in right now. And when you're clicking around on the different items, you can see some of them. Actually, a decent number of the items have express production available. So check that out because that'll make sure you get it, in time. I think I just ordered the backpack.
Oh,
that's right, the SGP backpack. Just ordered it. I think the ETA was like August 23rd. So, a couple weeks to get this stuff printed up, but nice stuff. So make sure you check that out. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/merch.
And you can just fire up the lawnmower music, and we can tell people to not act like millennials and expect everything to be on your porch in 48 hours.
This isn't Amazon Prime.
Have you not seen? I know Amazon occasionally helps pay the bills. Sean.
Sure.
Did you not see the John Oliver piece on the warehouse business?
Well,
evil. Evil.
The great thing about Amazon is we can make fun of them. They're still going to be a sponsor. That's how corporate overlords work.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Oh, there are a couple. I mean, I was getting we got this nice studio. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/sportsgamblingpodcast, we have our new monitor installed. Got a lot of plans for that. Right now, we just got the got the logo up in there, but
10 tabs of you porn,
exactly.
all at the same time.
Girls Gone Wild subreddit. Thankfully, Ryan is controlling the browser window, so probably won't get any shenanigans up there. What I was getting at, Ryan, was
okay.
Not to get emotional, but it brings me back. This is 2019.
It is.
This is 2000. This means 8 years straight.
8 years.
The Sports Gambling Podcast has been cranking out tons and tons of free content. 8 years straight, though, we have kept our streak alive of picking every game.
I think it's 9, Sean.
Really?
I think it's 9 years.
We started in 2010?
11.
Yeah, so this is 2009.
Yeah, 2019.
Okay. You're right. So you count 11.
Include the ends. 9 years, Sean.
9 years.
Wow.
9 years straight of picking every single NFL game against the spread. We're still here. We're still talking about it. Me, like I said, $200,000 richer. But for the most part, we're up, and it's been a wild ride. And
both of our teams have won Super Bowls.
In that span, yes. And it's been awesome. The audience is growing leaps and bounds. It's great. I mean, shout out to our writing staff, legit-ass writing staff, cranking out. Right. To pull back the curtain.
No, let's do it.
No! You sent us a message to me and our site editor, Ryan McKee, saying you're getting half chubbed looking at it.
Full chub.
Full chub. You clicked on the NFL tab. What do we got here? 2019 NFC West Gambling Preview, Odds, Picks, and Fantasy Radar. Expect one of those for each division. Completely free. Again, nice little piece by Christopher Fury. Does Hard Knocks help or hurt the win totals? That's something I want to look into. What do we got? AFC East Gambling Preview, NFL Rookie of the Year Odds and Best Bets. There's just going to be free content coming and coming. It's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. When he's lifting weights, he's coming. When he's on sportsgamblingpodcast.com, he's coming. The coming never ends. Oh, man. It's just awesome. It's awesome to be back. It's awesome to talk about the National Football League. It couldn't be possible. Honest to God, without our partners over at mybookie.ag. Okay, they're the people. The good folks over at MyBookie. You ever see a train? You're riding the content train right now, and they're in the engine right there, hitting those lumps of coal, tossing them. We don't run on solar-powered energy, okay? No libtards here. We're good old coal, and they're just shoving that coal in that engine, and the red-hot content train is rolling. And MyBookie's doing their part by providing free content. Why don't you do your part and support MyBookie.ag? They got a $100 super contest, $100 to win $100,000. You don't need any proxy. All you need to do is pick 5 games against the spread each week, going head-to-head against Kramer and I and a boatload of other applicants. Use that promo code SGP200 for up to $200 of free bets. Play, win, and get paid. MyBookie.ag.
Sean, you mentioned solar.
I did, Ryan.
Can I spare a minute of our time talking about the fabulous franchises in Cleveland and Cincinnati?
Yes.
Tell you a customer service story. I'm sure you'll appreciate this.
I love that.
Well, so it's the middle of fucking summer in Los Angeles. I'm getting solar installed because I don't want a power bill anymore, and I'm a libtard, or whatever you called me. So they come out, they do the work, and they finish up, but the fucking air conditioner is not working. The fan that blows the cold air into the house not
arguably
working.
The most essential thing to have.
And this crew of guys, of course it's Los Angeles, this crew of guys can't speak a ton of English. They more or less are like, sorry, bro, we're not electricians. We don't know what's wrong. You need to call an air conditioning person.
Wait, they're solar-powered people.
Yeah.
How do they?
So they leave. They leave the house in this state. Anyway, this leads to that. I have to get an electrician out or a HVAC guy out to the house at like midnight to fix it. He fixes it. It breaks again while I'm in Hawaii. My parents got whole nine. So I reach back out to the solar company. I'm like, hey, listen, you guys broke this thing. We never heard from you. Here are the receipts. This is the money you owe me. And they're like, sorry, but we couldn't have broken your thing. Here's the picture of what it looked like before, and here's the picture after. They literally showed me a picture of the circuit board before and after. It's irrelevant. Completely irrelevant evidence. So I fire back this completely angry email, and they immediately go, would you accept reimbursement in the form of Visa gift card? Sean, they immediately sent me money. Felt so good. Dominated. One email, dominated them. Actually,
what is the and again,
why did they like
a little bit of a sidebar, but why do they? What's the scam going on with the Visa gift card? Because there's clearly
it's got to be rebates or
there's
something.
Some sort of kickback with Visa, where they're just dying to give away those Visa gift cards.
I guarantee I get like 25 of these things. Like they're going to be $25, $50.
They're going to be increments of $25, and they're all going to have like $175 left. And while we're getting our customer service gripes out, you can't. I mean, speaking of which, MyBookie.ag, premier customer service.
Oh, okay.
There's a law in California that states under $10 left on a gift card, they have to give you cash if you ask for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a little-known California law, a California law that I cited to multiple people at the Home Depot in Glendale. I had $1.89 left on the gift card. Listen, I go to Home Depot. I liked going to the local guys. Sometimes they don't have stuff. Went to Home Depot, Home Cheapo, as I call it. Gotta save a couple bucks here and there. Now, I did that, and she's like, no, they the cashier goes, no, they changed that law. That the chick running the auto checkout, you know, the one who's like the supervisor of the auto checkout, because it's kind of auto checkout until something doesn't scan. Then it's
Loyola Night School for law, right?
So she goes, no, they changed that law. I go, I basically called her a liar and go, that's interesting. I don't remember reading about that legislation. Are you sure about that? She goes, yeah. And it's like clearly just a scared woman because I'm intimidating her. I go over to the manager. I pull up the law on my phone. There's some back and forth. Kick it to two other people. Got my $1.89 back. And, ready to roll. Ready to rock. Enough fucking around. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, these win totals coming over at mybookie.ag right now. The Baltimore Ravens win total set at 8.5. Over plus 105, under minus 135. I forget the formatting of this podcast, Ryan. I mentioned the lines. How do we do this?
We can talk. I don't remember either, Sean. I think you would throw out the record last year, the win total, all that good data, and then we talk about it, and then I take us through the schedule.
Oh,
and we promise every year to not take an hour and a half per division, but we accidentally talk for so let's do this. We got this. 10 minutes a team, right?
Got it. The Ravens, veteran ads, and again, this info's from Walter Football. Warren Sharp's a big guy. Pull a lot of numbers from the. What's your DVOA, Jack's Shack?
Yeah, Football Outsiders. If you're new, if you're back from last season and you're wondering why is Sean talking about, Sean has made a new commitment to numbers in 2019. We're very excited about this.
I look at the numbers. I look at the ins and the outs. But again, Tariq Cohen, that was a pure gut pick when I won $200,000. Veteran additions for the Baltimore Ravens. Who are we bringing in? Mark Ingram.
Love it.
Shane Ray. Pernell McPhee. Justin Bethel, Earl Thomas, he's looking good. Early draft picks, they got Marquise Hollywood Brown, Jalen Ferguson, Miles Boykin, Justice Hill, Ben Powers, guard, Amon Marshall, cornerback safety. Offseason losses, Joe Flacco, that's right, John Brown, Michael Crabtree, Brent Urban, Zadarius Smith, Terrell Suggs, that's a big loss. C.J. Mosley, Eric Weddle. So the defense definitely kind of took a hit in the offseason for me.
Does it seem like people aren't talking at all about Earl Thomas, though?
I that's one of the notes I have here. How are we – I feel like we haven't mentioned the Earl Thomas pickup enough. But I think Suggs, again, he was old, but he was still performing at a high level. I think – and Suggs also – he was kind of like the emotional leader. He was the guy who got real crazy I actually wrote his episode of Ridiculousness. So he's just a hard-ass guy. He was a little note about Terrell Suggs, still holds a lot of rushing titles in his high school. Yeah, he was actually a running back.
You seen his face, Sean?
Yeah.
Terrifying. I mean, I think if nothing else,
I saw it in person.
He kept.
He was a guy. He was a guy. If that guy yelled at me and said, "This is what we're playing for,"
piss a little.
When you think of the Baltimore Ravens and their success, part of the reason of their success is they've had a psychotic maniac with, like, you know, the face paint, ready to war, strap it on. I don't know if they have that attitude anymore. Earl Thomas, good addition and helps round out the defensive backfield, but I don't know if they have that fire, that hunger. To me, what scares me off of this Ravens team, I'm skeptical of this offense.
Really?
I'm skeptical of this offense. I'm skeptical of Lamar Jackson. I think he has some fantasy value, but they've basically said we're going back to running the ball. We're going to be a run-first offense. In 2019, the Baltimore Ravens, they're zagging when everyone's zigging.
There's a little room on the Gettleman bandwagon, bringing back old-school football, Sean.
Smash mouth football. They were talking about formations that haven't been seen since, like, the 40s with the wing T and Mark Ingram. I think in two ways it's interesting because, A, it's kind of smart because you're playing to Lamar Jackson's strength, but on the other side, it's very easy to game plan against. Now, their schedule, and we'll walk through it here in a second, starts out soft, gets much tougher, so I think they could see some early success, but I think if you know how to play Lamar Jackson, and the San Diego Chargers, they were the first team that played Lamar Jackson twice, and we saw their impact and how they just destroyed Lamar Jackson in the playoffs at home. Granted, he's a rookie, first playoff game.
Yep.
It's not surprising, and I think the Ravens' game plan was pretty shitty going into that game. Of course, we were on the Chargers there, but
San Diego Superchargers, charge!
They're an interesting team because I think they're going to be a situational bet-on team early on. However, when I look at that win total at 8.5, I look at the competition in the AFC North and just the AFC in general. Granted, they do play a relatively easy schedule. The receivers, too much of a question mark for me. I'm going under 8.5 for the Baltimore Ravens. Kramer, talk me out of it or hop on board the anti-Ravens bandwagon.
I do like the way
Or do we sorry, wait, do I you know what? I forgot again.
You didn't give out the numbers.
No, I did. I gave out 8.5.
Okay.
But usually I give out the pick after we go through the schedule. I'm leaning under.
Okay. Well,
and again, when I do all the research for the division previews for each team, I like to not actually look at their schedule game by game. I'll take a quick glance, but I like actually walking through in the 4-game chunks like we do to kind of check my math to make sure I'm right.
It's important to check your math. I do love the off-season acquisitions. I think it's fascinating. I think not enough will be said about Harbaugh. Maybe a lot will be said about how Harbaugh was able to completely change the style of his team, adapt. As much as I dislike the other Harbaugh and kind of dislike this Harbaugh, pretty impressive coaching job.
No,
bringing in Roman, he's had the success before with the mobile quarterbacks and just creative run games.
The new offensive coordinator, Kaepernick, who again
also Tyrod, those Bills teams, they were quite good at running the ball.
He seemed to get the most out of quarterbacks with similar skills.
I like that they invested.
Now possibly Lamar Jackson will kneel before the game and he'll be banished from the NFL.
Perhaps. I think,
he'll just lose his job to Blake Bortles, and then. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Brian.
No, as far as the offseason moves, they brought in the running backs and Mark Ingram. They drafted Justice Hill, who could have a big impact in the passing game. They still have Gus Edwards, who was pretty good last year. They replaced Crabtree and John Brown with rookies Miles Boykin and Marquise Brown, perhaps giving Lamar Jackson an actual target. But most importantly, Lamar Jackson will get first-team reps all offseason here.
That's true.
And I feel like, you listen to fantasy shows and you're bound to hear about how Lamar Jackson's yard per attempt was actually pretty good. You're bound to
7.0.
You're bound to hear folks talk about his willingness to go down the field. And I think having the reps, having the additional players with some playmaking ability on this team to go along with, I think, a defense that might be better than people think. I may be higher on the Ravens than most, but I wanted to one of the best parts of the Football Outsiders chapter, Sean, book, the yearly almanac, is they do a year in quotes. And Lamar Jackson showed up in the quotes.
Nice.
And he was, and I quote, I want to be Brady. I want to be the Brady of Baltimore if I could. This is in an interview. Rookie quarterback Lamar Jackson in a conversation for Showtime's Inside the NFL with Baltimore Ravens legend and known Patriots hater Ray Lewis. Quote, or you can be me. I brought multiple too. Stone-faced and unmoving, Ray Lewis gives Lamar an out. Quote, you too? But you know he played quarterback, so that's why I'm saying Tom Brady. The rookie doubles down on his Brady comparison. Quote, don't play, Ray Lewis retorts. At this point, Lamar breaks and begins to laugh. Ray barely cracks a smile.
Oh, Ray Lewis is a serious and angry guy? Who would have known?
So I think there might be a little fear from Mr. Lamar Jackson.
Okay. I like that storyline.
For as much as I don't like Harbaugh and I like to rag on him, I do think this team has some potential if the defense can maintain. They were a very solid defense. If they can maintain and they can do all this running,
I guess that's where we differ. Is that I think the defense can't maintain.
Dude, Earl Thomas is the defense changer, and
that's true.
We're not, like he's a top 5 player in the NFL if he's at his peak.
But also with in the NFL, right? We've always had these different lines of demarcation. The Mendoza line.
Demarcation.
Right. There's a point of quarterback play. Granted, you're a rookie. Granted, there's plenty of excuses. But the time that a team saw Lamar Jackson for the second time, to go back to that Ravens playoff game, he looked so bad.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
There's a point where you bottom out as a quarterback. It's tough to get back from that. Now, granted, a part of being a handicapper, right, a professional handicapper, a sharp, is to not put too much emphasis on one game and not have recency bias. But I think also you can't overlook the fact that was the second time the Chargers saw him and how well they adapted to his game and how hard they shut him down at home. A Chargers road defense that went West Coast to East Coast.
But we're talking about, I mean, we'll get to the Chargers later.
But again, the Chargers, they were a team that could have easily.
They were 12-4. They just happened to be the 5 seed. That's the
but also they were a team that you could run the ball on them. And, I mean, what did the Patriots do? They ran it down their throat and just destroyed the shit out of them.
Patriots.
Yeah, but, doesn't that stand out to you that Harbaugh doesn't have Bill Belichick's intellect and game planning?
Look, they have a great home field. Let's go through the schedule. But I think at the end of the day, this is a team that I will bet on to overperform before I will for them to underperform in a situation where they're now picked to be the 3rd team in their division after the Steelers and Browns. Again.
What the fuck?
I'm going to bet on Harbaugh and Roman to figure this out. I'm going to bet on Earl Thomas to be back. And I guess I'll zag because I think your opinion is the more popular one. Let's go through the schedule,
really?
Sean. First 4. At Miami, we hate that spot, right? On the road in the heat. Arizona at home. At Kansas City. Cleveland at home. You really think they're going to lose to the Browns at home? I think this is 2-2.
Yeah, at Dolphins. Home against the Cardinals. That's a good spot for them.
Are you with me 2-2?
I mean, I could make a case for 1-3 because
what? Come on. The Cleveland Browns, really?
Okay. No. I think they win against Cleveland. Don't call it crazy that the Dolphins pull out that week 1. Again, I think maybe the Dolphins.
They lose the road games, they win the home games, they go 2-2.
Oh, you're right because they have. All right, 2-2.
At Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, at Seattle, bye week, New England at home.
How do they win 2 there? They don't. 1-3.
Let's not. I mean, maybe we're not giving Seattle too much credit. They're a better
it's
home
in Seattle.
I'll go with you.
In Seattle.
I'll go with you 1-3. That makes them 3-5 on the season. At Cincinnati, Houston at home, at Rams, San Francisco at home. They're coming back 3-1 here. They're not losing to Cincinnati. They're going to be god awful.
In Cincinnati? No,
god awful. 3-1. Harbaugh
Texans
heating up down the stretch.
Texans can beat them. In LA is a tough spot. 2-2. And even the 49ers could beat them.
They're a tough out at home, Sean. Tough out.
Yeah, no, I don't love the 49ers there, but if the 49ers came in and beat them, I wouldn't be shocked. And if the Texans beat them, I think they split. I think they lose one of those home games and one of those road games. That's very reasonable.
Very reasonable, Sean. Where are we at?
They're 5-7, and I'm sitting on the under 8.5 right now. I'm feeling great.
You got 5-7.
You're telling me they're going 4-0?
I got 6-6. At Buffalo, Jets at home on Thursday. At Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Again, I'm going 2-2.
I'll go 2-2.
So maybe I'm not as high as I thought.
2-2, but in Buffalo, late. They should show up for that.
Cleveland at this point, Cleveland will be a dumpster fire, so that's an auto loss. Actually, I'm going to go 3-1 here.
I'm sticking 2-2.
I think Harbaugh closes strong. So you got him going 7-9.
Yeah.
I got him going 9-7. Right on the fence here. We're both there.
Under, right? It's not as far as stuff in this division, it's not what I feel strongest about, but
I think I'm going to I think I'm going to find a way to talk myself in to the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, and the other thing is, like I mentioned, I don't think it's a complete.
Actually, I'm going to go back
fade.
with my 8-8. I'm going to stick with the original 8-8.
I don't think it's a complete auto fade. I think they're definitely going to have value situationally, and especially because the run defenses they're going up against are bad. So there will be spots where the running game will work. I'm just being realistic, and this is the National Football League. The National Football League. Moving over to the Cincinnati Bengals. Win total over at mybookie.ag. Currently set at 6. Over plus 100. Under minus 130. Throw out these odds as well. Division plus 1,800. Conference plus 6,600. Super Bowl plus 125.
Is this Who Day?
100.
Who Day?
Who are they? Because really, it's a big question. AJ Green.
He's banged up now already.
He's already hurt. Jonah Williams, their first-round tackle, he's out for the season most likely. They're claiming he's going to try and play, but if they're not doing well, I don't see how they really rush him in. To me, it feels like possibly the last year Andy Dalton is the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals. Zach Taylor, that seems to be the big thing. He's coming in. Why don't we get to the veteran additions? Guard John Miller, defensive end Kerry Wynn, cornerback B.W. Webb. Draft picks, like I said, Jonah Williams, he's out most likely for the year. Drew Sample, tight end. They seem to be going hard at tight end. Linebacker Jermaine Pratt, quarterback Ryan Finley, defensive end D-tackle Rennell Wren, guard center Michael Jordan. Holy shit. And they lost Tyler Croft, Jake Fisher, Vontez Perfect.
Rest in peace.
It's interesting because it seems a lot of this is going to be tied to Zach Taylor. Right? Zach Taylor, former Rams QB coach, coming in. He knows Sean McVay. He must know what he's talking about. Last time he was an offensive coordinator, 2015, 26 in offense. But here's what I like about this Bengals team, Ryan. Here's what I'm finding somewhat interesting. AJ Green not being there, and already running backs are a little banged up. I do think Joe Mixon has a shot to get the rushing title.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Especially at 20-1. Last I saw over at MyBookie, I think there's some decent value there. Andy Dalton, first down passes in the first half. 8.0 yards per attempt.
First half team, right?
Exactly. And Zach Taylor's coming over from the Los Angeles Rams. And what was their formula over there?
Look good?
No.
Yeah. Mostly look good, though, right?
Look sharp, be young. Hey, yeah, I'm Sean McVay.
Groom chest.
I still dye my hair blonde. Yeah, I lost to Doug Peterson twice, but I'm still a better coach. Oh, yeah, I got my ass kicked in the Super Bowl. Yeah, rock on.
Want to see me fit in a locker?
Yeah, I got my TI-83 graphing calculator for the old heads out there playing drug wars. Zach Taylor, what was he good at in Los Angeles? Depending on how much.
Holding a clipboard? He wasn't calling plays.
No, but he saw the winning formula. When you have a average to below average quarterback with a really good running back.
Oh.
Joe Mixon is the next Todd Gurley. And Andy Dalton is a seasoned Jared Goff. So I think if Zach Taylor, this is Ryan.
Fucking wizardry right now.
Little bit of a hot take, and they got some scrappiness in them. Their offensive line coach, Jim Turner, you know why he was available? Because 5 years ago, he was fired for turning a blind eye to the Richie Incognito bullying situation for Miami.
He's back.
That's a guy that has some intensity, some scrappiness.
They got the Raiders on the schedule, by the way.
Three out of their first 4 games are on the road. I saw that.
Little reunion.
One more nugget, my last nugget, and I'm kind of leaning over because the number is so low. We'll see what the schedule holds. But another thing that they did really well last year, and maybe they can carry it over because they seem to really value this position, when they're in 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends.
Yes.
Their DVOA is 14.1%. Now, again, DVOA is just some made-up bullshit that some eggheads came up with, but it seems to have some merit. And if you can pass out of 12 personnel, which I think they will be able to do because they're deep at the tight end position. Again, a lot of this is if Eifert stays healthy. This Drew Sample guy they drafted, they seem to be high on. If they can get some nice productivity out of the tight end position, I think they could move the ball. So defense not as locked in, but I think 7 wins not out of the question for this Bengals team. Where am I right? Where am I wrong, Kramer?
Well, you just shared some information with the fans.
Yes.
That would lead me to believe that you are somehow forgetting about the sins of Andy Dalton's past. Andy Dalton is the AFC's version of Kirk Cousins. Andy Dalton is not someone who I'm looking to back. Look, if AJ Green wasn't going to definitely miss regular season games,
I know that's
trouble because while they do have Mixon, I think there's a little potential for what happened similar to when the Giants lost Odell Beckham, where they have other guys, right? Boyd, perhaps he can step up.
Boyd could be a legit fantasy
We don't know if
option,
he can be the guy. John Ross, we don't know what he is. Mixon,
he's just constant nagging injuries.
Mixon, do we think we want him to stay healthy? Is the offensive line improved? Sure, they have a new coach who's scrappy, Sean.
Yeah.
But do they have players that can play? Because I don't think the coach plays the game.
But here's what I would say. You compared him to Kirk Cousins. I think that's a pretty apt comparison. A guy who puts up okay numbers right on the bubble, a guy that you somehow have to pay if your team is stuck with him. But now we look at Kirk Cousins. Quick sidebar. His contract's fucking insane. Kirk Cousins, last 4 years, this is not what you wanted a guy you're paying $35 million. 9-7, 8-7-1, 7-9, 8-7-1. That's not what you want. You're paying shitload guaranteed, and you reset the market, Minnesota Vikings, for Kirk Cousins.
Nice work.
However, 9, 8, 7, and 8, they're all greater than 6.
Yeah.
And I think Dalton is a guy that could probably get them to 7 wins.
So my concern, my grand concern with this is we're gonna go through the schedule. Is I'm struggling to find the road game they win. And
okay.
I don't think they're going to go 7-1 at home. So,
but
look, here's what I would say about the Bengals. I'm intrigued by.
Actually, the win total is probably right on.
The mean projection, according to the Football Outsiders, they actually like them a little bit. 6.9 projected wins. I I look at this team. They do have a projected easier schedule. They had a hard schedule last year. That's always a good sign, something you want to circle for regression. But we do have a coaching continuity change. We don't know if that's necessarily a positive thing. Andy Dalton has been mediocre while learning the same offense a lot of these years.
Yeah, normally that's the
good
great
coaches.
Excuse.
It's not like the Bengals didn't have good coordinators constantly coming out of those systems.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson.
They were good at that level. They just weren't good when they elevated, except for Zimmer on the other side of the ball. Marvin Lewis, listen, we've seen this before. When you have a guy who is coaching and maybe he was mediocre, he kind of brought you. He couldn't bring you all the way to the top of the mountain, but he brought you to the point where you get to at least make the playoffs. You're a top 12 team over and over and over, and you can't go the next step. Super frustrating, but at least Marvin Lewis ran a fairly steady ship. We don't know what Zach Taylor is going to do. We don't know how this churn is going to affect this team. I tend to believe it will hurt them.
How's this for comparison? Andy Reid, the NFC version of Marvin Lewis.
Okay.
Certainly a better version because he did more damage in the playoffs. What happened when Andy Reid left? They bring in this guy, young guy, innovative, doing things a little different. They have success early, and it unravels. That could be the Zach Taylor formula. And I think success for them is winning 7 games.
Here's the problem. They have a difficult start.
And that was one of the bullet points I dropped in there as I was kind of throwing out my spiel because
Sean, we've talked a lot about this team so far, and I think we're breaking our own rule.
Let's get to the schedule.
Let's get to the schedule. Really shocked to see the juice on the unders, only -1. At Seattle, not an easy start to the schedule for AJ Green.
Non-conference road game. Goodbye.
What could go wrong there? San Francisco at home, at Buffalo, at Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. I mean, I think
they'll get up for that game, but
1
and 3.
They don't win in Pennsylvania. We know that, right? They don't. We this is a 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Arizona at home, at Baltimore, Jacksonville at home, at Rams in the UK.
I think 2 and 2.
Where is that? Again, I have a hard time seeing them winning away from home. So you're beating Jacksonville and Arizona, you're saying?
I think they're definitely beating Arizona. I think they have a shot to beat the Jags. Just because kind of matchup-wise, the Jags, they're kind of a similar version of the Bengals. I think they might match up differently. And London games, they kind of throw out the window.
They're not losing to the Rams.
That's a good point, but
I'll be generous
go
and say 2 and 2 with you. They hit the bye week. They come out Baltimore at home, at Oakland, Pittsburgh, New York Jets. Can they get 2 here?
I think they can get 2. The Jets game at home is very winnable. In Oakland is winnable. And they could win one of those 2 division games.
They're not winning at Oakland. I don't care how bad Oakland is. Cincinnati's not going to be good.
I think Oakland could be the worst team in the NFL this year.
Wow. Okay.
Oakland and Arizona are the 2
I'll be
teams
generous. I'm going to be generous. 2 and 2 again.
2 and 2. Even if you're a bad team, and Ryan, you know this with the New York Giants,
of course,
you still occasionally show up at home for division games. So they have 2 home division games in this 4-game stretch. It's not a shock to me.
They'll split that, and they'll split the other. So 2 and 2. Let's go.
Yeah, 2 and 2.
At Cleveland, New England at home, at Miami, Cleveland at home. 0 and 4.
I'll give them 1 and 3.
Sean, you got him going 6 and 10.
Damn it!
I got him going 5 and 11. I felt twice in there I was generous. Maybe the 0 and 4 is not generous. So Sean, the number is probably right on there at 6.
I'll go over. So even though I'm right on the number there, I'll take the plus 100 that my bookie's offering, and just hope that AJ Green comes back after 6 games.
Just for the record, I was leaning over for the Ravens, even though I landed on 8-8. Well, I had 9-7, 8-8. But yeah, under on the Bengals.
So you're officially 5-11, like the under. You're only laying -130. It certainly makes sense. I just didn't want to go too hard. Yeah, I don't think the Bengals are going to be quite as bad as everyone thinks. Ryan, it's office pool time, right?
Yeah,
Everyone in your office is
jump
getting
in the pool.
together, hanging out. Gotta drop the kids off at the pool. Ryan, you would know this, right? You're of our group of friends. You've worked in offices over the years a bunch. You're always the guy running the office pools. If anyone's running a March Madness or an NFL Pick'em contest, you're gonna be that guy, right?
Of course.
What are you looking for when you run one of those programs?
I don't want to have to manage anything, Sean.
Exactly. You want to make it simple. You want to make it easy. You don't want to pay money. That's where Play Balto comes in. They got it all there. Honestly, you can customize whatever kind of league you want. They got 30-plus different ways you can customize your pool. You can save time by tracking buy-ins. That's always a huge pain in the ass. Stream the entire management process from hours to minutes. You can get started on Balto 60 seconds or less. Pick'em, survivor pools, the whole nine. They got it all. Just make your life easier. If you're listening to this podcast right now, that means you like gambling, you like the NFL. Why not just start an office pool? And hey, while you're there, hey guys, let's do hey, I don't know, the guys on Sports Gambling Podcast said this or that. Oh, hey, they're crazy. Crowbar a couple of mentions of the podcast in while you're hyping up the contest. But Play Balto was designed specifically for pool style betting games. That's what a lot of these like CBS, like Yahoo, whatever, they kind of like throw on the office pool thing as an add-on. Play Balto, that's why they created the site. If you're running a football pool this season, make your life easy and do it over at Play Balto. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com, click the Play Balto link to sign up today. Kramer, we're moving over to the...
Turn that shit up, Sean.
Crank it. The Cleveland Browns. Their boat has landed as Odell Beckham, key addition. In addition, Garrett Gilbert, Kareem Hunt, Demetrius Harris, tight end, offensive tackle Kendall Lamb, guard Eric Rush, defensive end Olivier Vernon, defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson. A lot of interesting personalities. Darius Taylor, outside linebacker, Morgan Burnett, safety. Draft picks, they brought in Greedy Williams, cornerback, linebacker Sione Takati.
Got it. Nailed it. Takataki.
Safety,
Taki.
cornerback Sheldrick Redwine, linebacker Mac Wilson. How would you pronounce that?
I'm just saying, you can hang out with Redwine and Taki.
Look
that shit up on Urban Dictionary, huh?
Kicker Austin Selbert. Offensive off-season losses. Tyrod Taylor. Is Tyrod still in the league, Ryan? Brashard Perryman. Receiver, tight end Darren Fells, he's out. Offensive tackle Desmond Harrison. Offensive linebacker Jamie Collins. Wow, that was a short stay. Cornerback E.J. Gaines. Cornerback Brianne Body Calhoun. And safety Jabril Peppers, shoring up that New York Giants defense. So many thoughts on the Browns.
So many thoughts, Sean. Can I bring us back to the Football Outsiders real quick? And
sure.
Quotes?
Just let me throw out the win total, courtesy of mybookie.ag. It is set at 9.
9. Okay.
Whopping 9 over -115 under -115 to win the division. The Cleveland Browns to win the division is +125.
Favorites.
If you bet $100 on the Cleveland Browns to win the division, you would only win $125. To win the conference, the American Football Conference, The Browns have never appeared in the Super Bowl. To win the conference, they're plus 700. To win the Super Bowl, they're plus 1,400. Right around with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Sean,
so they have a similar road to the Super Bowl.
If anyone wants to wager on the Browns to win the conference or the Super Bowl against me, I will happily take those odds right now. Okay, perhaps they can get lucky and win the division. Yeah, they're not winning the Super Bowl. What are we doing here? Sean, bringing you back to the
How does the Browns winning the Super Bowl?
It's a joke.
How does that not involve some sort of – what's going to happen is if the Browns were to win a Super Bowl, there would also be games missed because there would be a national tragedy. There would be some sort of event, God forbid, but there would be multiple – teams would lose multiple players, not even just out for the season. They would have to be dead, and the emotional loss would be so devastating they can't show up on the field. Like there's no scenario where this team is winning the Super Bowl.
Roethlisberger could die. This could be the year he gets taken out behind the shed.
He did. Ben Roethlisberger did brain his damage in a motorcycle accident. So
brain his damage?
Yeah, it's a Simpsons quote, right?
The start of a beautiful bromance. Oh, I love you. Then give him a hug. Can you show me how to catch the ball with one hand? Cleveland Browns head coach Freddie Kitchen wonders, what's the first thing he'll say to newly acquired Odell Beckham Jr.? Ooh. You're the fucking head coach, and that's what you're saying out loud? Come on. And let us not forget Odell Beckham. And I quote, I really don't like water. I'm trying. I really just don't like it. You know, when you get that stomach feeling and it's all slushy.
He only likes water when he's out in the open seas.
I'm trying to stay hydrated. Sometimes I just got to get an IV. It's necessary. He doesn't like water. It's not going to work out well.
You speak of Odell Beckham, Ryan. Odell Beckham, been in the league since 2014. Every one of those years, I mean, from early
drafted
on,
after Eric Ebron. Still funny.
Every one of those years, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
What about it?
Only once did his team win more than 6 games.
Wow.
Now there's injury, there's Eli, there's shitty Giants. But if you're supposed to be this premier player, like we're going to build the franchise around, in 5 years, you would think one of those years you would just fall into 7 wins, 8 wins. They had the one year where they had 11, but you think you'd have 2 years, a 7-9, an 11-5, a 10-6, an 8-8.
Well, it's about him. I wonder how he felt about the Baker Mayfield awesome alpha move of shotgunning that beer. That doesn't.
He probably felt intimidated.
Doesn't seem like Beckham's style.
Just put Aaron Rodgers in a body bag.
Kareem Hunt, Mayfield, that doesn't seem like the kind of guy. Like, why have him trolling around the locker room? He likes to stomp women's faces. I just don't think Freddie Kitchens is going to be able to handle this. Here's another team where the schedule is flipping from one of the toughest, third hardest last year.
Well, and they were sneaking up on people, right? Because it was, oh, hey, the Browns, Hugh Jackson, they're dog shit. And they were. And then they brought in Baker. They got rid of Hugh Jackson. And it was easy for Freddie Kitchens because all he had to do was to be better than Hugh Jackson. That's a low bar. Now they're talking Super Bowl. They're talking the bar. The Freddie Kitchens bar just shot up. 10
Is
feet.
LeBron coming out to play tight end this year?
He's probably better than Njoku.
He's just not going to show up to the Lakers.
Who would you rather draft if you're the Cleveland Browns or suit up? David Njoku or LeBron James?
How many?
LeBron James doesn't do practice training camp. You just have LeBron James. He puts on his pads. You have to explain the game while you're playing it to him.
Oh, no, you just line him up near the end, like when you're around the end zone. Yeah, just make it easy.
Well, he'd play like 10 games because he's got some load management. But still, in those 10 games, look out.
They do project to have a very easy schedule, much like their other divisional counterparts. In my opinion, I just don't see. Second year, Baker Mayfield, he will have moments where he'll look like he's taking steps forward, and he will have moments where he looks like he's taking a step back. We know this objectively, that in football, dream teams don't work. Chemistry does. and I don't know if Freddie Kitchens is going to be the guy, like to your point, that can sustain. Hugh Jackson's now been gone for long enough.
Yeah.
He's not the savior anymore. He's now the guy. I am intrigued by the defense. I think the defense is quite loaded.
Myles Garrett's legit.
That was another one of the quotes I was going to get to, but I'm cutting it for time. But, yeah, it's Myles Garrett, big, huge. So I'll actually tell you, Baker Mayfield making fun of Myles Garrett for being into dinosaurs when Baker Mayfield's into Bigfoot. So lots of intrigue in that locker room.
Got a couple other nuggets before we walk through the schedule, Ryan. The Browns, the Cleveland Browns. They also have to overcome the fact that they're the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Since 1989, only 2 seasons where they've won more than 9 games. 1994 and 2007.
Well, to me, and I even before we walk through the schedule, even knowing that their schedule is a little bit easier, 10, really? You're telling me to beat me, you got to get 10?
I'm fine being on the other side. And Baker Mayfield, 1-5 versus the winning teams. Offensive line, I think, could be a real issue for them. PFF's got them ranked 20th right now. Kevin Zeitler, they lost him in the Odell trade, and they had Austin Corbett, but then he's looking like he's losing his job to Eric Kush. That's how you would beat a guy like Baker. Eric Kush is the guard. Interior pressure. So if you don't have that guard-center combo worked out and guys are getting in Baker's face, he's not able to get the ball to Odell, that could be where things really started unraveling. But Baker seems like a fun guy to hang with to win 10 games. I think if you're a Browns fan and you're riding the hype train, you would try and point to the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles, Ryan, because they had a second-year quarterback, second-year head coach.
Yep.
Everything gelled. They came together as a team.
Do they have a backup quarterback with a massive dick?
It's a great question.
Do we know? Do we have measurements? Who is the backup for Cleveland?
I'm just Googling that now, Ryan. I don't know that off the top of my head. But if you're if you're a Browns fan, that's kind of the scenario you're talking about. Drew Stanton has a gigantic cock. We don't know that yet. He hasn't been proven.
Maybe Garrett Gilbert does. He played like it in college.
Well, and Wentz started every game his rookie season. I think that was a big help. And they had dominant line play on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Cleveland's defensive line strong, but I'm not as optimistic about their offensive line. But there's certainly similarities. So.
Yeah, and we'll get to the schedule in a little bit, but I think the one last point, I like to touch on the special teams. I don't know if I pointed it out with the Harbaugh-led Ravens. That's always an area where they seem to just be better than everyone else. Well, I think Cleveland has been showing everyone that they're one of those teams, kind of not quite in the Chargers universe, but they seem to have their own special teams problems. So I think that's just how you cost yourself a game here and there. You have a new head coach. You're not strong in the kicking games. Shall we walk through the schedule?
Let's do it.
And let's not forget, Sean.
Yeah. If
we look at the last 3 years, the Browns have only won 8 games. So
combined.
Just let's everyone calm the fuck down. They have only won 8 games in 3 seasons, Sean. Kicking off the schedule, and it does start a little on the easier side. We have Tennessee at New York Jets on Monday night. Rams at home at Baltimore. I take that back. Are they going 2-2 here? Do they sneak one of those road games? Because I think in order to be a 10-win team, you better start beating teams that you're better than on the road. But I got to be honest, feels even the Jets on a Monday Night Football, you don't think the Jets are going to be juiced up on Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I could talk
playing
myself
a team
into
full
Jets.
of egos.
Yeah, Jets at home.
I mean, the Browns will be favored.
I think Darnold will take a step up this year. Yeah, I'll go 2-2. I'm not so confident that I throw them a 3-1 there.
I think they could lose to the Rams and beat the Jets or vice versa. So I'm with you. I will also go 2-2 at San Francisco on Monday night. Seattle at home.
Tough spot.
Bye week at New England at Denver.
Oh, shit.
I just like things are unraveling. Danger.
1-3.
Danger.
1-3.
I'm with you. Then we got Buffalo, Pittsburgh on a short week at home.
Okay.
Miami at home. 3 straight home games here at Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So let's flip it around. There. I'm with you. I'll go 3-1 if they haven't unraveled. See, I think what we're not going to talk about is if they've unraveled a bit before that 3-game homestand, that could be dirty.
Yeah.
So we both have them at 6-6 right now, Sean. Going into the final stretch, Cincinnati at Arizona, Baltimore at Cincinnati. They split with Cincinnati. They split the other. I'll go 2-2.
I'll go 2-2 as well.
Yeah, 8-8. Again, I'll take it. I'll take all them. Just let's bold this one, Sean, because this is going to be my.
And it just speaks to a bigger. Just fade the hype. Is there a team that there's just been more shit hyped up for than the Cleveland Browns?
Again, I'll give you the first nugget I wrote down when I started doing my prep work for the Browns. 8 wins in 3 years.
Yeah.
And I gotta.
They have to beat that by 2 wins.
For me to lose, they gotta get 10 this year. Okay, let's go. I'll gamble. If that's gambling, I'll gamble.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's get into them. Last team in the division. Win total set at 9, -120 on the over, -110 on the under. +190 to win the division. So, the Ravens and the Steelers, according to the odds makers, generous people that they are, less likely to win the division than the Browns. Steelers +1,000 to win the conference, +2,000 to win the Super Bowl. What do they got going on? Key additions: Dante Moncrief, linebacker Mark Barron, cornerback Steven Nelson, early draft picks, linebacker Devin Bush.
Like that pickup.
Deontay Johnson, cornerback Justin Lane, running back Benny Snell, tight end Zach Gentry. Off-season losses, Le'Veon Bell technically, but he didn't play last year. Antonio Brown, tight end Jesse James. Wait, they lost him?
Jesse James, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Vance McDonald, baby, that's your guy.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I was like, who's the white tight end I'm all in on? Marcus Gilbert, linebacker LJ Fort. It's kind of he's not that good. Cody Sensabaugh, and safety Morgan Burnett. I'm loving this Steelers team. They're just quietly hanging around. Now, there's the opposite side of it is like, oh, Roethlisberger,
yep,
he's fallen off the cliff. And there's certain signs.
He's been falling down the cliff for like 3 seasons, though, and he keeps managing to pull through.
Keeps hanging around. Big Ben has only had 1 losing season since 2006.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, his only losing season is 2006 when he went 7-8. The Steelers are consistent. Like they're probably in that same area of the Eagles, where they were but they won 1 or 2 Super Bowls with Andy Reid. 76-50-1 on the road the Steelers have been since 2004. That's the Big Ben era. On the defensive side of the ball, TJ Watt, that dude's legit. We were all over TJ Watt. He's coming off a 13-sack season.
Bush is going to come in.
Yes. Devin Bush, as advertised. That's what the local papers are saying. He's got that long flowing hair. And just can't you imagine a Pittsburgh Steeler with long flowing hair running around, covering a lot of ground, making some plays on the defensive side of the ball? That's what you want out of Devin Bush. And that's what might happen. 5-star defensive line, according to Walter Football. Again, people seem to have forgotten about James Conner. We probably didn't even talk about him enough in our fantasy preview, but the more I'm been looking at the NFL season, the more I'm just like, well, what about James Conner?
It's a system thing, right?
7 yards per target, I mean, compared to Le'Veon Bell the previous season, 6.2. And after they got rid of Todd Haley, they had the NFL best red zone conversion rate at 73%. The things that are concerning are the defense falls apart at times, and Roethlisberger's turnovers are certainly inopportune, and he throws interceptions in bunches. But if you're looking at the win total, the fact that he turns it over in bunches kind of helps you in a weird way for the win total, because he'll have some road games like against the Jags where he throws 5 interceptions or something like that, and then he's dialed back in at home. So I'm just really high on this Steelers team.
What?
Why not get the band back for one more year? I mean, again, I don't really understand what Tomlin does as a coach. He just seems like a cool guy that the players like and play for.
He's the CEO, man.
Yeah, and he manages, and it just seems to work. Like, again, to me, they're kind of in that similar frame of Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll.
10-1 to win the conference is a
very good price.
Ridiculous price. This is a very stout offensive line. They were one of the top 5 teams in adjusted sack rate. Which is part of
good
the reason
line play,
for
right?
And they are a great screen team. James Conner stepped right in.
Dude,
Samuel looked good. They drafted Benny Snell. They have James Washington sitting in the wings. Juju's going to step up, be the number 1 guy. It's going to be James Washington. It's going to be Dante Moncrief. It's going to be Vance McDonald. That system's going to work. Big Ben's the question. Yes, he could fall apart. He could be absolutely dreadful on the road. But they are going to be a team that's going to be very difficult to beat at home, and Big Ben still dominates the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
Until that stops, I think for the first time in a while, this team is not, for whatever reason, this number is not indicative of them being a public team. This number is indicative of them losing 2 of their stars, one of which who didn't even play last year, and the other who is a clear head case.
This is what's great about fantasy football, is that fantasy football, if you fade the kind of fantasy football news, there's a tremendous amount of value. Fantasy football players look at Antonio Brown and go, oh, he's not on the team anymore. Give me the Raiders, and I'm fading the Steelers. But if you've watched the National Football League, you know that's a horrific strategy. You should be doing the opposite. The Steelers have a proven track record of being able to replace skill players. Le'Veon Bell replaced him, no problem. All their receivers, they just keep drafting guys. It's clearly a system thing, and the Steelers are just a competitive team year after year. Look at that.
Let's go schedule.
Yeah, let's
Should we do the schedule? I will say their schedule is quite interesting with the balance of where the home and road games end up. They start at New England. This is a tough game, but this
opening night.
This is when you want to catch New England, though, right? We've seen them take one on the chin.
Yeah,
here
they
before.
lost to the Chiefs, and
this
the
would
Steelers.
This is a message game, and if you're gonna catch Belichick,
this is always their Super Bowl too.
But this is where you catch Belichick.
Yeah, he's
not worried about week 1. He's worried about week 18, week 19. So this is a winnable game. Seattle at home at San Francisco, Cincinnati at home on Monday night. I mean, Sean, you could sit here and you can be like, well, you know, that San Francisco spot's going to be tough there on the West Coast, blah, blah, blah.
They've always played Oakland poorly, the Steelers. But I don't know if that's just an Oakland thing.
Should we be conservative and say 2-2 here, or do we go 3-1?
I'm going to say 3-1. I think the Steelers team, they're just getting slept on a little bit.
What's the spread week 1 against the Patriots?
Probably New England -3.5. I mean, I'll pull it up for
pull
my
that
bookie,
up,
but
but
that would be my guess.
So you're
Do they move it to 4? So you're saying week 1 in Las Vegas, we can get the Steelers catching 4 points?
Is that the number?
No, I don't. Just looking it up. But speaking of which, week 1, Las Vegas. If you guys are out there, as always, we will be posted up at the Westgate. Beautiful Football Central. Post it up. Hang out there. You guys want to get a beer? Hit us up. Tag us. Do the whole thing.
Tag us, yeah.
I don't know. Tag us in social media, Ryan. I don't know where your head's at.
You know, it's just
week
still
1,
figuring out that Instagram.
Game lines. Holy shit. 6 points.
Yeah.
Wow. MyBookie.ag has the Steelers +6, +220. I could see myself chasing and loading up on the Steelers money line Week 1.
I mean, look,
Sunday
New
night.
England's probably not going to lose that game at home, but. It's a
No, but
winnable game. It's a
No, but
winnable
they
game.
lost to the Chiefs.
I'm going to be conservative. I'll go 2-2, Sean. You go
I'll go
3-1
because I'm just high on this team.
Baltimore at the Chargers. That will be a home game for Pittsburgh. Bye week. Miami on Monday night at home. Indy at home. Boy. 3-1, right?
Well, it's interesting because
3 home games. They're gonna.
I'll say 2-2 here because things get a little wonky. But I got them either way. I got them 5-3 going into halfway.
I'm with you. 5-3. I'm going 3-1 for that section. They get the Rams at home. Probably a good spot for them there. They get at Cleveland on a short week Thursday night. At Cincinnati and then Cleveland again. They split with Cleveland. I think I'm gonna go 2-1. Oh really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, well, I don't know.
I'm trying to be conservative here.
3-1, just because I feel like they figure out maybe they sweep the Browns. I feel like they figure out a way to get 3 there.
Just a note, I think the Rams are off a bye on that.
Okay.
So.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
I'm gonna go 2-2.
Info from the whale capper sheet.
I'm going 2-2. You still sticking 3-1?
Yeah, because I'm just high on this team.
You just want to be high.
Yeah.
I like it. At Arizona, Buffalo at home, at New York Jets, at Baltimore. Big Ben on the road, not always the best situation.
It can get a little wonky.
I think he gets.
Say 2-2.
Is that the safe thing to do? 2-2.
2-2 is probably realistic because road games in December. He's got 3 road games in December. That's
all right. So I feel like I took that as conservatively as possible, and I'm at 9 wins.
Yeah. And what am I at? 10? 10 plus?
You're at 10 wins.
Okay.
I don't like this. I probably like the over here as much as I like. To me though, the money, the bet here is you take the division bet, right?
Yeah. Well, and so I'm all over the over. I love the over for the Pittsburgh Steelers at 9, and there's just no other way to see it. Give me them to win the division.
So you're taking the
small sprinkle on the conference.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna ride the Steelers to win the division. I think that's the absolute bet there. If you want to take a little action on the Ravens, I'm not mad at you. Just for officially, I'm landing on them 9-7, the Ravens and the Steelers.
But the division for again, I'm not as high on the Ravens, but at plus 250, it's just.
I think the price if you're looking at division prices, I like the Steelers better. I'm probably not going to get involved in the Ravens, but man, Steelers over for wins, Steelers to win the division. And I think the other one I really like is the Browns under.
Okay, so let's lock it up, Ryan. What is your lock for the AFC North?
My lock for am I stupid if I go Browns under for the lock?
No, you're fading.
Right?
You're fading tremendous hype.
That's my lock then.
Okay. And you're betting that the Cleveland Browns won't win 10 games. That seems to me like a great play.
But I'm also going to take a stat. What's the juice on I'm taking the Steelers over too.
It's minus 120.
I'm going to play it. It's not going to be my it's not a whale play.
It's my mega whale play.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
So lock of the year. Give me the over on the Pittsburgh Steelers. This division just fell into our laps as far as being an easy play to me. Like I'm feeling like Miss Cleo over here. This is it's a very easy demarcation line, and that is over on the Steelers, under on the Browns, slight over on the Bengals, but don't fuck around with the Bengals win total, and then under on the Ravens, again slight. But to me, the Browns and the Steelers are really where I have my strongest opinions on this division.
It's interesting how we landed in the same spot, Sean. I'm with you. I think
we disagreed on Ravens. I'm on under.
Nah, but at the end of the day, I think we didn't feel as strongly on those teams. We felt strongly about the the fuck. I can't believe Cleveland is getting so much love. So officially, I will
It's
say
so great. It's just the contrarian society.
my picks to win the division: Steelers, over on Steelers, under on Browns. That's the lock. And then also, I would recommend to my clients that you get involved with a couple shekels on the Steelers futures for both conference and Super Bowl. It does. I mean, how many teams have a legitimate seat at the table when it comes to aren't we thinking it's going to be Patriots, Chiefs, Steelers, maybe Chargers in that Final Four?
Steelers are, how are they not kind of in that mix?
It does feel like they're being disrespected a bit, especially
They're just
in that
getting
futures
overlooked
market.
because it's being in sports media, it's about the storylines.
Yeah.
And the Browns being good and possibly being a Super Bowl contender, it's fun to write about. And these Browns fans are desperate for something good. And I get it. You see Baker, you see the savior. But let's relax.
Conference odds, AFC, Patriots 3-1, Kansas City Chiefs 375, Chargers 7-1. Another thing that I'll probably be recommending you take a stab on that too.
San Diego Superchargers, charge.
Colts 8-1, Steelers 10-1. Sorry, I missed the Browns in there at 7-1, which is hilarious. So the Steelers are the 6th favorite to win the AFC. I don't know. Like I don't know. We're gonna start talking about other teams, but I kind of like taking a stab betting Chargers, Colts, and Steelers there, and rolling the dice against the two big boys. But yeah, Steelers should not be the 6th favorite in the conference. They should not be the 2nd favorite in their division.
Brian, FTP, baby.
But seriously, if you're interested in betting a Cleveland Browns future against me, reach out. I'm happy to take your action. Friendly bets only, of course.
Happy indeed, for entertainment purposes only. And hopefully this was entertaining. If you listen to the entire thing, you know what it means. Rate, review, share on the iTunes. Come on, guys. We're going for the gold. We got to pay for this TV stand, everything else we're doing. Make sure you check out the updated merch store.
Ooh.
Legit gear. Legit gear.
Gonna have to get some stuff to wear on the show, Sean.
Yes, we will be we'll be getting a nice little order in for ourselves over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/merch. So we get our drip squad going, Ryan, as you like to say.
That's what I'm getting written on the back. Drip squad. SGP Drip Squad. Where's that shirt?
You can customize the last name, so good luck with that. Maybe just write your last name as Drip Squad. But again, get those orders in now because you wanna be rocking it. If you're like me, you want to get some sweet merch going before the kickoff of the season.
Oh,
Find your lucky shirt, your lucky sweatpants, your backpack, the whole 9. 4.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Fuck you, Odell.
Kramer. Let it ride.